Good afternoon and welcome everyone. My name is William15. I am gonna be your host for tonight's exciting APL match. Tonight we have a match opposing Lucky Strikes to La COMPANIA MALDITA, which is a team from Spain. Um, and today for you guys, what I did is I asked both team to send me a little something to describe to introduce a little bit their teams. So I am gonna start with La Campagna. So this is what they sent me. Um, we are La Campagna Mantita, a band of warriors bound by fate and a dark spell. Our story begins in 1993 or 2010 as some reckoning time. A year after Columbus reached the shores of America, abandoned on a forgotten island beneath the one nobody cares about, we were left raw. After a decade of isolation, a warlock rescued us. In exchange for our freedom, he trained us in the noble art of war, mastering every battle in the Total War saga. But his teachings came at a price. Tired of his tyranny, we rebelled and fled, eager to carve our own path in the world. Before we escaped, the warlock cursed us. Now we wander through time, fighting as mercenaries in 101 battles, each one leaving us more weary than the last. We are soldiers without a home, warriors without rest. The cursed company marches on until the final battle claims us. Will you join us or fall before us? That is what they told us. It is very good. Um, like I said, they are a team coming from Spain, and they are going to be playing as Germany tonight. And then let's go over what Lucky sent me. Alright, and this is the Lucky Strikes intro. So, Lucky Strikes was founded by Captain Spears, Flag, a Gracie Wiener, and other like-minded players in April of 2022. Using the iconic World War II Lucky Strikes brand of cigarettes as our moniker, we founded the game server Lucky Strikes Battlegrounds the same year. This is our third APL season. Uh, we are led by Captain Spears as the commander, Panzer WY infantry and the off-road comp lead, and Flag the armored lead. Our goals are to improve our team's resilience and maintain our performance throughout the APL season. Last season we started strong and then started to decline towards the end of the APL season, which hurt our standings. The goal has been to prevent this from happening again and to show that we are one of the top team in Division 4. During this APL season, we are joined by our friends over in BR1 who will be supplementing our team. Um, as some of you may know, I am actually myself from BR1. Um, and BR1 is a gaming communities that was founded by veterans. Um, and yeah, it's a big gaming community based from the actual Big Red One regiment, and yeah, it's really really fun. Um, and before the match begin, I am gonna show you guys. I'm gonna go over the APL rules with you guys tonight before we start everything. And so the rules are as follows. The nodes are protected. You cannot take down any nodes. Um, for the Axis, the Panther is banned. It can only use the Tiger heavy tank and single artillery crewmen only. Now I am going to present the map that the guys are going to be playing on tonight, and the map is none other than Hurtgen Forest. And Hurricane Forest is a very iconic map in the Hell Loose scene, as it is a map that is both open and really, I'm gonna say, narrow-minded because of the way the points are. It can be either a really, really fun night or a really, I'm gonna say, a hard night. Just because of the way the map is, some points are really easy to defend, some points are really, really hard to attack. And yeah, so I do believe this map makes for a really great comp match, and I do believe you guys are going to enjoy it. For the points that the guys are going to be playing tonight, the only one I currently know right now is the Siegfried line, which is the one right below me. Also, by the way, we are not live currently. We're still waiting for a few people to join before the match is before the match starts. So yeah, and Lucky Strikes is going to be on blue. They are going to be allies during the match, and La Compagnia is going to be in red, and they are going to be Axis during the match. We're still waiting for just a few more people. The match should be on its way pretty soon. While this is going, I'm gonna show you guys all the team participating in this year's APL. So we have a total of 4 divisions, multiple teams in each division. Currently, right now, we are in Division 4. And yeah, so this is going to be, we are also in week 2 of the APL. Lucky was sadly defeated last the previous match they had against Condor Legion, so they are looking for their first victory tonight. And La Compagnia had a bye week, which means that they did not get to play the last time. So this is going to be their first match in this tournament. Back to actually, I have to fix something real quick. There we go. And the match should start any minute now. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask them. I will try to answer them as soon as I can. And you know, I hope you guys' night is going pretty good so far. But I'm just trying to look if there's any issues. Alright, and the match is now live, and we are gonna go right into the action as soon as the game loads in. Alright. Like I said, Lucky is gonna be on the ally side. I am gonna be on their side as well. I do apologize for the slight delay. We had some technical difficulties on the I'm gonna say organizer, and you know it's kind of hard to organize everything. Alright, but that delay is now over, and we are gonna be able to have a great night tonight. So while this is going on, what I will do is go over the points with you guys, starting from left to right. So from the US side all the way to the German HQ. So first we have Reserve Station, which is in the middle of the map. It is I'm gonna say very standard point. Lots of defender position, good tree covers as well, and yeah. So it is. Hopefully the fight won't go all the way over there. But yeah, next up we have Carl Trail, which is in the kind of burned section of the map right here. It is really hard. It is really easy to see if someone is moving through the landscape because of the lack of colors, I'm gonna say. So it's really easy to spot, for example, a moving uniform that is moving into that tree line. And if we do get to see some fighting over at Caltrail, I do think it's gonna be a good time. Now I spoke a little bit about it, but we have a Siegfried line, which is where all those little markers are over there, which is right here. And this point here is gonna say very unique in my opinion, because the German here starts with a massive advantage as they do have the high ground compared to the Allies here, and so the Allies really have to be quick about it and get as close as possible to the Siegfried line as possible. Otherwise, the German is going to take full advantage of their high ground advantage. And then moving along to the next point, we have Jacob's Barn, which is a little bit similar to Caltrail. It's in a burnt landscape. It is a small compound, so it's a little bit harder to attack, but it is still it does offer multiple I'm gonna say angle of attack as well, and it's also easily defendable if played right. And then the last point for the German is approach, which is that little point you see all the way over there. Yep, that is approach. I don't think we are gonna get to see that point in tonight's match, but yeah, hope it is also really similar to the Allies HQ, other than the fact that this one is on the hill, so not a whole lot of trees, but still some pretty good cover. And here we have the first trucks that are making their approach to Siegfried line. Looks like Lucky has the advantage right now in terms of manpower, for flares are going up. The first shots are fired from what I do believe is an AT gun. Or is that a tank? I can't tell from here. But either way, that shot hit its mark, and a transport truck goes down. Right now, Lucky has a massive manpower advantage over LCM. As we see here, Lucky's really spread out. They're doing what I call a good line, which means that from where I'm standing here all the way over there, they are spread out evenly to have a big, I'm gonna say, angle of approach that's gonna give them more options than if they were to move from that side, for example. Also, while I was looking here, we have a German light tank that is making its entry, a Lux, which I've created multiple ways. This tank here has a unique, I'm gonna say, weaponry, as it only has a autocannon, which means that it only has HE. It is not good against other tanks, but against infantry, like right now, it is really good because it can really decimate a whole I'm gonna say platoon of infantrymen quite easily. 80 men are trying to shoot it, but he comes just short of it. But that did not stop Lucky from taking the point, and Lucky is now first in scoreboard. And that Luke goes down. What a beautiful shot by Ginger Jesus from BR1. That light tank is down, which gives a brief respite to Lucky and BR1 here, as they don't have to think about enemy armor right now. Only have to focus on establishing a defensive position on Siegfried line. As you can see here, Lucky is starting to move a little bit forward to try and clear any garrison or OP that are nearby the point, and really establish a defensive position on Siegfried. Because right now, as we can see here from LCM's point of view, LCM is pretty well spread out. They're starting to, I'm gonna say, kind of almost circle around Siegfried here, as they have this entire top of the hill in their possession. As we can see here, they also have some guys that are kind of tickling the side of Lux here. Seems to be a two squad strong here, side offensive. We'll see how that goes. If that pays out for them or not, as flares are still going up. And I just realized I had the background on this entire time. Right. I'm so sorry about that, folks. Apparently my controller decided to not like me tonight. So as I was explaining earlier on, while you guys can see here, LCM currently has the top of the hill, which I'm currently overlooking. They have that entire top of the hill covered right now, and Lucky is kind of having a hard time defending the point as we speak here. They can't really get near the point because of how much that top of the hill gives LCM such a big advantage. But it does appear that that Lucky hasn't said its last word and is trickling back into point. And now they also do have armor support right behind that house over there. They have a tank that can change the entire dynamics of the game right now. But here, I've just spotted a German anti-tank gun emplacement right there. and it appears that it is locked onto that tank over there. But it was also spotted by the tank, maybe the tank or another AT gun. I don't know what's shooting at them, but that tank is getting shelled as we speak. The LCM is making some progress into Siegfried line, but looks like, oh, and he goes down. We had a flamethrower onto the field, which is something I don't see very often because of how I'm gonna say, because of how much of a double-edged sword that flamethrower is. Right now the fight is pretty even from what I can tell here. What I really think is going to make such a big difference in the game right now is what I'm overlooking here at the top of the hill. I do believe this is going to be one of the key factors into tonight's match. Because, like I said, whoever controls the top of that hill here can see directly into Siegfried line here and can easily spot where the defenders are at. That flamethrower is back into action here and is clearing that bunker trench area. But he goes down, and we have our first bombing run that is going across Siegfried line. I do believe that is LCM's bombing run. I don't think it was that effective, but still very nice to look at, and also yeah. So about that, my so I just had to drink a little bit of water there. Yeah, so currently right now, it does appear that LCM is focusing their attack on I'm gonna say two lines of approach. We have that line right here, which is focusing on the right side of the point, and they have this line right here, which is on going deep left of Siegfried line. When I say left and right is where I'm currently standing, from my current point of view. So yeah, so we have here on the left, where I'm looking here, LCM is making a deep push here, but as I was talking about, that looks like LCM pierced Lucky's defenses here on the left, on the right side, and is making their way into the trench line. But Lucky here is hasn't said their last word here, as one of OP goes down, but it's not over yet, as a bombing run actually clears the top of the hill here and gives Lucky a small break into the unrelenting assault here. We can actually have a better view of that tank right here. LCM still capping the middle point Siegfried line as we are currently speaking. If looks like Lucky is contesting it, they're losing it again. If Lucky cannot get more men to point here, they are going to lose the point, and losing the point that early in the match is not that big of a deal, but it can still be really hard to retake, so they really want to make sure to keep that point as secure as possible. I just realized I did not start the clock here. Fixed it. How much time do we have left? Minute 16 seconds. Or like an hour and 60 minutes left to go. There we go. The timer should be on. It is perfect. Yeah. Lots of technical issues tonight. But it is what it is with life. with live, I'm gonna say live audience, mishaps can happen, and yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry about all of that, folks. And looks like here, LCM has a really good offensive going on right now. They are storming the bunkers and those trench lines right here, as well as pushing deep on the left. That explosion right there was just an idle timer going on. As we have that light tank right here, that Stuart is gonna try and make a difference with what it can do. But it does look like LCM is gonna take the point here. As I said, losing the points that early in the match can be a deciding factor, but it can also mean that it can also give Lucky a small break here, and just, you know, regroup and go for a big offensive and recap the point. Sorry, I'm having issues with my controller right now. It should say 2-3, but I can't switch it. Once again, I do apologize for all the technical issues that I'm currently experiencing. Hopefully they're going to be fixed by the next match I have to cast. But yeah, here, LCM here has two tanks pushing it into tandem, but one goes down. What beautiful shots here from Lucky Strike, which take down the rear tank here, leaving the forward tank by itself at the mercy of I cannot see what type of tanks it is, but it leaves it pretty much at the mercy of Lucky's expert tank crewmen that just demonstrated their marksmanship abilities. As we have an hour and 13 minutes left on the match here, LCM is holding the safe line, but is getting shelled from every direction by 80-gun tanks, rockets, and grenades from Lucky here. Lucky is pretty much sending a clear message to LCM. We have not given up yet, and we are going to retake that point. Like we'll get the action going on to the left side of the point. Looks like LCM is trying to stop Lucky Strikes and BR1 from trying to make a defensive push from the left side of the point and go behind enemy lines, which is a good strategy, and because that way it means that they only have to concentrate their efforts into B1 or 2 front instead of A3, which include the backside, which is not fun, having someone always behind you trying to take you down. Alright, let's go focus our action back onto the main action here. Looks like we have some guys here that made it back into the physical hardpoint itself, and they are actually capping back the point. An 80 gun goes down. Lucky Strikes and BR1 are losing their cap right now, as all the guys that were present onto the physical hardpoint got taken out And look, and another one of LCM's tank goes down. Lucky's tank crew here are really showing them that they are the superior tankmen right now. But from experience, I must say that from LCM's tank crew's point of view, it's really hard to see really anything in the distance because of all the trees and everything that's happening. It's really hard to see with precision. Sorry about that. Someone interrupted me. As I was saying, it's speaking from experience, it's really hard to see anything in the distance because of all the tree lines, all the obstacles, and really how hectic the game is and how fast-paced it can be as well. Looks like Lucky here is gonna cap back the point, and also looks like LCM is bringing in a Puma, which is a recon vehicle, up to the front line, which is an interesting strategy. Because one hit from pretty much anything, and that thing is done. And just as I was saying that, it happened. And it looks like, actually looks like they're losing Caltrell. So take a look at what's happening there as we fly over the battlefield. So we just had a couple of LCM guys here poking the defenses over at Caltrell just to draw a little bit of attention away from Siegfried line. And also to probably try to take down garrisons and OPs outposts if they come across any. And also looks like that assault here saw where that heavy tank is and is going to relay that information to its team here. Or maybe he even has a satchel and is going to try and take one of them out. And he does have a satchel. And that tank here has no idea. It has a big thinking bomb on it right now. So we're just gonna sit tight here and watch as that satchel is gonna go off. That tank and that repair station are now gone. That other tank probably wondered what the hell happened there as it takes around. See, try and spot what is hitting it. Oh, I see. It's currently engaged with a tank. Might be hard to see, but right where I'm looking at right there, there is an enemy tank. And that tank goes down, so it looks like Lucky's is now out of tanks. Which means that now LCM's armor squads can now push further into point here without having to worry about getting destroyed by enemy armor. Sorry about that. And it looks like LCM is capping Cultural again. They're actually putting a little bit of offensive here on Cultural. We still have an hour and 5 minutes left on this match. And so far we've seen a lot of actions, and I am really curious on as of where the match is going. Looks like that assault on Cultural I'm gonna say somewhat decently sized. If Lucky does not respond quickly, it could mean that they're gonna lose Cultural. But looks like they have here a squad that answered the call back and is going to try and defend point, while the rest of the team is going to try and keep assaulting Siegfried line. Things are not looking good here on Cultural, as I do believe LCM wiped out pretty much, I'm gonna say almost all the defenders here, but more are coming onto the point here as LCM is getting back up now from a light tank here. The Lux here trying to cap, and looks like here we have a medium tank here, a Sherman. But as I said earlier, that Lux here cannot do very much against tanks, as it does lack any real, I'm gonna say, armored penetration capabilities. The most it can do is being like annoying, taking out the engine, taking out the tracks, turret ring, that sort of stuff. But even then, it gets quickly taken out by a duo of 80 men. It does look like the situation at Cultural has been resolved, and Lucky and BR1 are back in control of their point. What looks like their offensive here towards Siegfried has also been weakened by the amount of men they have to send back to defend Cultural. So pushing back across that river here might be difficult for Lucky's here, as because of all the men LCM probably has watching the river, the crossing points and everything. But looks like we have some armor back into the field. Here we have another heavy tank from Lucky's back into action, as well as the medium Sherman we saw earlier on that was fighting the blocks. As we have here an hour left onto the match, LCM is still in control of the cap point, but Lucky's and Lucky Strikes and BR1 are mounting another assault. Looks like LCM here is spreading out across that line here. I don't know what their plan is, but they are spreading out pretty wide. I wonder if they're trying to get behind the attacking force to take down garrisons and OPs, or if they're trying to go around the defense here. Both are viable options. I do think both are going to help LCM no longer. Once again, the red here is LCM, their axis, and the blue dots are BR1 and Lucky Strikes, and they're playing as allies. Looks like we are having a little break on the action here as both teams are kind of mustering, positioning themselves here for either defense to either defend or attack. And it also looks like LCM decided to abandon, not entirely abandon, but put most of their men towards the attack rather than having a bunch still on defense here. I do wonder what LCM's plan is at this point. And it looks like LCM is going on defensive here. And Lucky Strikes here doesn't have a whole lot of defenders or anyone really near Caltrell. So if LCM pushes with a good-sized a good-sized group of people, they could very well overwhelm the defenders and take back the point. But they also have a tank defending Caltrell and taking shots on the other side of the river here, so Caltrell might not be as an easy take as LCM initially thought. And I'm so sorry about that, folks. I just had to deal with something really quickly. I had to feed my dog, pretty much. Let's get really sorry about that. Alright, I kept watch. I kept looking as was away, and looks like LCM here put a little bit more pressure onto Cultrell and have finally overwhelmed the last defenders here. And I do not know how Lucky Strikes and BR1 are going to react to that, because either they're going to fall back to reserve station and defend their last point at any cost, or they're going to go back on DIV offensive here and try and retake Cultrell. But anyway, either way, I do believe Cultrell is going to end up into LCM's hands no matter what happens at this point. Unless somehow, I mean, if those people here get here quick enough, they could stop the offensive, the capture progress here. I do not think they're going to get there in time. I do think it's going to be very close, as more and more people are converging towards Cultrell here. We even had some remnants of possibly defensive force that came and hit them from behind. Looks like they have an OP right there. And Cultrell falls into enemy hand. That OP is gone, which means that right now, yeah. So right now, LCM has Cultrell and is establishing a defensive position on Cultrell here. Meanwhile, Lucky Strikes and BR1 are going on into massive assault here of Cultrell. They're going to hit that point with everything they've got before pushing in with numbers, they're going to try and overwhelm anyone that's near Cultrell. As explosions are heard in the distance, I do think a tank went down somewhere. And the bombing grenade is getting sent on its point. I do think that was that was Lucky Strike's bombing run here. It went all the way across point. I don't know how many people it got. I do believe it got some OPs in garrison though, which is very good. Let's get a little bit closer on the action here. Let's get a better shot, a better view here as we have tanks shooting that 80 line to short of it, and people moving through the wood lines here. Pretty much getting really confusing for them, probably on point. Probably wondering if the guy they're seeing across with them right now, if it's a friendly or foe, or yeah. It can get chaotic really easily in this game. Either way, it looks like LCM here is still holding strong on Cultrell, keeping Lucky's away from the point, meaning that for right now, LCM is winning 4-1. I had to drink a little bit of water. That point is getting shelled from all sides. artillery, tanks, grenades, pretty much everything that goes boom is hitting that point right now. And LCM is establishing a wide defensive line here, as that tank just took a shot. That shot ricocheted. I don't know what he is shooting at that tank, but it is pretty far away. Do I have a Puma here? I must say, LCM is doing pretty good right now. Puma goes down, but yeah, as I was saying, LCM is doing pretty good right now. Managing to hold Cottrell for this long against a team like Lucky Strike, who's focusing on offense right now, is, I'm gonna say, no small feat. It is pretty impressive. Let's see here what the battle has in stock for us, as we have a tank baton on the way. And it looks like your Lucky Strike is slowly making a dent into LCM's defensive forces here, making a little breach that they are falling through right now. That small gap in the defensive line here could turn out to be a massive problem for LCM here, as more people are let's say using that gap right now to go into point. With 45 minutes left to the match, here with it looks like here, looks like LCM is gonna try and go back onto point, and the two are defending it again. Looks like Lucky's offensive here failed at the last second. That was still a very good offensive there. But yeah, it does look like Lucky's is gonna try and do wide flank all the way from here, all the way around to the backside here to try and clear out tanks, OP, garrisons, anything that's a problem for them. I'm gonna try and clear all of it out and find a new angle of attack once we call it drill here. They're doing the same thing on the complete opposite side, while keeping a small pressure here front side. Looks like LCM might actually be going onto defensive here. shall see what happens as the tank goes down. Looks like Lucky Strikes here, side assault is starting to pay off as they rush towards Coltrell. I do believe they got caught way sooner than what they expected, as defenders are turning their attention to the previous, what was previously no one looking at. But it's both a good and a bad thing, meaning that the more people are looking, for example, at this small group right here, the less people are going to be looking that way, whereas the other group is, meaning that that group could have a much easier time pushing to point. But those are all speculation from someone I can see everything, so matter doesn't mean a whole lot right now. As I do, yeah, it looks like LCM is putting a small offensive onto the reserve station here. I don't know if that is the best move to make in their current situation, but maybe it's going to give them a victory. We'll see. As Lucky Strike here is still trying to capture back Coltrell and have a fighting chance into the match. It looks like LCM is starting to put a little bit of pressure onto the last point here. But it was quickly repelled by the defensive effort of Lucky Strikes and BR1. Sorry, I kind of forgot the teams were there for a second. Yeah, it looks like here LCM is still in control of Coltrell, and they are still establishing a defensive line here. So one of the key success to LCM's defensive right now is that they keep their lines moving instead of being static. For example, instead putting down a bunch of MG nests, for example. They have a few like squads that move as a unit. And for example, they're all going to react to a small group of person. They're going to make a small line there. They're going to go across that line. And if they start to see people coming from another direction, they're going to move that way. And they're going to go and defend that way, which means that it's hard for them to get shelled because they're always constantly on the move. And the attacking force can't really, you know, pinpoint the location because they're always moving, so it's really hard to, you know, attack when defenders are constantly moving, almost as if they were attacking you. Looks like LCM here is moving towards the front. As we can see here, LCM has a nice little line going. And almost opposite of them, we have a line from Lucky as well that is facing their line, so it's kind of a line battle, which is funny, but not unwelcome. So I'm having a hard time speaking over here, and I don't know why. I guess my brain and my mouth are having arguments right now. But you is what it is. We'll get past it, I guess. Looks like here Lucky's offensive is losing a little bit of its steam here, as LCM is making some pretty good progress forward here, leaving Cultural almost undefended because of how far away they've pushed. They've pushed back almost, let's say, 50 meters away from the point. And it might not sound like much, but 50 meters can actually be quite a lot. It takes quite a few seconds, almost a minute, to run that much distance. What am I saying? 50 meters, 50 yards. Yard meters, I do that. Sarcasm. I'm a bit tired. But that's okay. And it looks like looks like Lucky's and BR1 were actually starting to cap the point for a few seconds, which means that they have enough people in the full square around it. Unless it's square, I mean grid on the map. I can't actually show the map to you guys, because of reasons because I don't really want to give away how the team are playing here and everything. That's why I prefer not to show the map. But the LCM here still trying to capture. I do believe they're trying to end the match early, as they have a lot of forces attacking the reserve station here. Let's say we have about a 10-man strong offensive going onto reserve station, which means that almost like most of their guys here that are present near Caltrell are going into the offensive. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a 40v40 match instead of a regular 50v50. The regular 50v50 like you would get in a normal pub match, for example. Which is why we have a two-player of 81. Did one extra being myself, obviously. Let's go take a quick gander at something real quick. And I just saw someone ask in the chat that, just answer to that question real quickly. Also, I forgot to mention, guys, there is a 30 minutes delay in between what I see and what you guys see. So, yeah, so do keep that in mind whenever you're seeing something that happened. It happened like 30 minutes ago for me. So, yeah, so that's just something I forgot to mention. But yeah, as we are quickly approaching the final 30 minutes of the match with 34 minutes remaining onto the clock, LCM still attacking reserve station, and Lucky Strikes and BR1 still trying to retake Cottrell to have a chance to recapture Siegfried for the victory here, but they're really struggling right now. LCM is doing a wonderful job right now. I must say, I did not know LCM until this APL season. I must say, I have been pleasantly surprised by their skill level that they've showed, and I'm gonna say how they act as a team. I had good interaction with them, and yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with LCM. It is a good discovery for me. And of course, the lucky or a veteran in the scene, in the North American scene, so I had multiple interactions with them, and like usual, they're great guys. Spears is really easy to talk to, and everything like that, and he is also commanding today. But yeah, both teams are doing a really good jobs here. This give and take, I'm just gonna put it that way, meaning that the LCM is taking some ground, but Lucky is quickly regaining that ground. It's really touch and go right now onto reserve station. As I hear a stupid dive, let's try and follow that bomb here. And I don't actually know what that stupid dive was for, but still a really scary sound when you don't know where it's gonna hit. As an eyes to have it live as a regular infantryman. Hearing that Stuka dive really makes you a little bit panic, you know, because you don't know where it's gonna hit. LCM still going strong into the offensive, and really is putting. Let me rephrase that. LCM still going strong into the offensive, forcing Lucky and BR1 here to adopt a defensive stance onto reserve station if they want to keep this match going a little bit longer. As we can see here, I'm just going to try and give you guys an overview here of the battlefield. So the building we see here on the left side of the screen, just somewhat, I'm gonna say, not left, but more middle. I'm gonna zoom in a bit, just like that. That's the point. That's the physical hard point. When I say hard cap, it's the circle you have on the map that shows, like I'm gonna say, so when I say hard cap, what I mean is the circle you see on the map, the black circle. That's, I'm gonna say, the point, the physical point itself, which means that if you're on that point right there, that's how you can cap and decap that point. You have to stand in that circle. And, as I was explaining that to you guys, LCM just sent the bombing run onto point and are pushing guys onto point here. They're really trying to capture the last point and end this match early. But Lucky hasn't said its last word, and they are flying back onto point. Here at Lucky's tank crew here just went down. They lost their duel because they were getting hit from both sides here. They were getting hit by what appears to be a puma. Yep. And a tiger at the front, but they almost got the tiger, which is really good. And that was down in the back line, giving Lucky strikes here a brief respite. But with 3 minutes left on the clock here, there's still a lot that can happen to this match. The match is not over yet. We can really see how much action is going on right here in that corner, as we can hear all the MGs are going off right now. All the shots being fired, all the explosions right now. It's a really chaotic match, but we do love chaos in this game. Really, I'm gonna say jam-packed, close quarter actions, and you don't really get to see that kind of action into this game. Usually, it's more like, you know, you wait for like 15 minutes, you don't see anything, and from time to time you get the chance of seeing someone. You don't get that much close quarter action combat that often, or of this intensity into this game, and I'm really enjoying it right now. It's like LCM is making a little bit of break into Lucky Strike defenses here. They made a gap in that section here. They're really gonna try and capitalize on it. We're gonna try and get a wide view, so we can see here Panzer WY here, which is the comp team leader for Lucky's here. So always good to see him onto the battlefield. LCM still strong onto the offensive. And Lucky Strikes here still holding as best as they can. That guy just went flying. Something. Try and get a little bit closer to the action here, just so you guys can have kind of a feel of what it looks like. So you can see here, the point reserve here is mainly made out of small bunker pit houses like this one here, and trench lines, which can make clearing a pain to deal with. And once they can, like, once someone is entrenched in those, it's really hard to take him out. As Lucky Wolf here just demonstrated here, he just took down 3 guys with ease, because of the terrain here and also his skills as a player. Looks like here Lucky cleared out most of the guys that were behind him, except a couple stragglers here and there. But it looks like Lucky might have repelled most of the assault for now. Of course, as soon as I say that, LCM comes back with another wave. LCM is really not giving Lucky Strikes and Grow One any break right now. They are giving them all they have. So I have here someone is trying to satchel, but the spotter here sees it and he gets taken out. Tank commander goes out of the tank, making sure there's no satchel on it. And once he's done making making sure his tank doesn't have a satchel, he goes back into the saddle. And the reserve station has been cleared out of every Lucky Strike member here. And LCM is actually starting to cap point, which is really bad, because if Lucky Strike loses that point, they lose the match. LCM having capped at midpoint. Have halfway capped the point, or I should say. But looks like Lucky Strike still hasn't said their last word. And they send a bombing run here onto the arm point to clear out some guys here. And they are making their way back into point. And just their tank crew here are defending the point while waiting for the infantry to come back. And looks like that was a worthy sacrifice of that tank, as it did manage to actually no, it didn't go down. Never mind, it's not a sacrifice at all. It's an act of bravery, I should say. But yeah, it looks like those two tank crew here have gained just enough time for the infantry to flood back into point and defend it. But I do believe LCM has more man to point here. Actually, I don't know. It looks pretty even. I can't tell. It goes all way too quickly. Yeah. Okay. Clear LCM has been white right now. Lucky here did a wonderful job at clearing out LCM, but I do believe LCM has a garrison here somewhere around that area. As long as that garrison is there, it's a threat. But that tank tanks can't take down garrisons in one hit. So I do believe that tank crew is going to go for the hunt. But as all of this is happening, we do have one squad from Lucky Strikes that is going onto defensive on Caltrell, but gets taken out. But that was a good attack. I don't know what happened over there. I do believe the satchel went off, but I wasn't quite looking that way. As more LCM guys are still going towards point, which really, like I said, LCM is not giving a good the LCM is really giving Lucky Strikes team a hard time right now. They are relentlessly attacking the point, which can have an effect. How can I put it? Which that just that massive attack here can really wear down the defender's, I'm gonna say, mental state in a sense. You know, you feel like you're like against how can I put it? Almost feels like you're facing overwhelming odds here. Like I'm gonna say like a 1 against 10 scenario, if you know what I mean. But I do believe Lucky has finally cleared out LCM attacking forces, or at least they did manage to cut them just. So well, that had something stuck in my throat. It does look like Lucky Strikes here did manage to just cut down the numbers of attacking forces just enough to be able to retaliate and mount an offensive of their own against Cultural, which is going to leave a much appreciated and well-deserved respite on reserve stations. I am gonna say really fucking well done on for Lucky's defense on reserve station. That was very impressive. I honestly thought they lost the game there, but they showed me wrong and proved me wrong, and I'm gonna say they face overwhelming odds here. The odds were not in favor at all, but they pulled through, and they showed everyone that they were a solid team worthy of our recognition. So yeah, so shout out to Lucky Strike's defensive guys there. You guys did really, really well. As we are now, with 18 minutes left onto the match here, we are now under the 20 minutes mark. Which means that the odds are not looking good for Lucky Strikes here. If they can't capitalize and make an offensive push here pretty soon, winning that match is going to be harder and harder. Right now, it's kind of hard for me to focus on anything because everything is so spread out currently. Like, there's stuff going all over the place. We have a line, an LCM line right here attacking reserve station. Again, we have the line of defenders. We have the small group here and airmechs group over there on that hill. We have defenders on Colin Trail. We have tanks all over the place. So yes, it is very well spread out, a little bit chaotic, but like I've said, we do love chaos. So yeah, so it's kind of hard to focus on one thing right now. I am doing as best as I can to provide you guys a good overview as well as some of the close action shot, but I am only one man after all. Let's go see what is happening on the side. Looks like we have a an offensive going on the back side, the back line here from Lucky Strikes. They are coming from behind that. I do believe that's a factory. That's that building, all the way onto the road here. And leading straight to Call Trail. Let's show you guys what the defender from Call Trail would see. Let's go faster. So that's what it would look like. So as you can see here, it's really, really hard. Like, even while knowing where they are, obviously, because we can see it through the walls. It's still really hard to see where the enemy is coming from, which is why I said this map is really open, but at the same time really, really hard to spot anything. As that tanker is really, really wounded. That tiger is really wounded, alone, and it's surrounded. But I do believe Lucky Strikes did manage to capture Call Trail here. We'll see. We'll see if LCM can pull back just enough guys to be able to capture it. So far, it's looking good for Lucky Strikes. Dagger goes down. There's no more defenders onto Colin Trail. Bunch of LCM guys here are pushing back from their main point here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Bump and run from LCM here clears out pretty much all the attacking forces here, giving them just enough time to put their guys back onto point here. But there is an OP, but I don't think that's going to be enough. That flamethrower here is going, but did as much as it could, but it was only one man against many opponents. Yeah, that offensive on Caltrell fell, but it was a good effort from Lucky Strikes. But under 15 minutes to go, the battle is reaching its end. And LCM is still going strong on the offensive. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen. We have a medium tank from Lucky Strikes here going into the offensive by itself. Balls a move. It's working so far. Oh, that is not good. Oh, there's a Puma all over there hitting that medium tank. Bombing strike, a bombing run from, I do believe that is Lucky Strike's bombing run. Even if the match is, even if the match is approaching the end, it is not over yet. Both teams still hasn't said their last word, as Caltrell is being taken right now. Could this mark the beginning of Lucky Strike counterattack? As they're putting a lot of their forces here onto point. Because if they do cap that point here, that tank goes down, that is not good for Lucky Strikes. If they do manage to capture that point here, they do have a shot at victory if they do manage to get to safe line fast enough. Quick enough, I should say. But even if that first tank went down, there's a second one just here ready to take its place. But he gets one shot on him in the back here. Will that AT get his second rocket off? He does, but he barely misses here. The shot ricocheted off the armor of that 76. This looks like Caltrell here is getting contested, and it's not getting defended by LCM. We're now under the 10-minute mark. But cultural is being taken in. Rockets are going off in every direction here. I get it. So what Lucky Strike is going to try and do is have some people near Siegfried line here to try and cap it as soon as they capture cultural. But as soon as I say that, the tank that was in the middle of the point here got taken out, which means that now LCM has more guys than Lucky onto point. Yeah, now LCM has reinforced the cultural, everything they have. I don't think Lucky can pull off a victory in this match, but I could be wrong. Still some LCM guys attacking in reserve, but most of their manpower is concentrated around cultural. It does look like both teams are putting everything they have around cultural. Precision strike barely misses that tank over there. It did injure it, but it was not enough to take it down. We are now at the 5-minute mark. At the 5-minute mark, only 5 minutes remaining. 1-2 into this match. LCM throwing one last bombing run onto reserve station. Looks like Lucky Strikes pulled out most of their men from the offensive and put them all around reserve station. Yeah, I don't see much more around, so I do believe they're just going to try and defend for the remaining 2 minutes. But yes, at this point, Lucky knows they lost the match, but they're still going to try and at least still have 1 point. Match. I just want to say thank you guys for everyone who was here watching the entire time. I do appreciate you guys sticking around with me. It was a pleasure casting this match. I do hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And if you guys can feel free to write down the comments, subscribe, do all the usual. We do more stuff than APL as well. By that I mean us BR1. We also have a DIV event coming pretty soon to raise money for the Fisher House Foundation. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in into tonight's stream. Once again, my name is Willyman15, and I do hope you guys had a good time. On that note, I do wish you guys a wonderful evening, and I will catch you in the next stream. This was Willyman15. Signing off for now.